start crying because of it.
If you would bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, we just come before you tonight and we thank you, Lord God, that you are our God and that you have ordained everything that is before us. We ask for your wisdom and your revelation to be poured out on us. We ask, Lord God, for your favor and your hand of protection to be upon the city. And then, Lord, we just ask that you be with your people and you continue to lead, guide, and direct them. And Lord, we just love you and we thank you and we just acknowledge that everything that we have is because of you. We ask these things in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Please be upstanding for the pledge to the American flag. Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Halsey.
Here.
LaBelle. Here. Van Cleave.
Here.
Joseph. Here. Woodman.
Here.
All right, next on our agenda is the presentation of the minutes from our meeting on March 8th, this was so long ago, 2021. Y'all had a chance to review those. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes from 3/08/2021. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we approve the minutes. Next is our revenue report and our bill payment. Again, you all had a chance to look at those and see everything that's been on there. I'm entertain a motion about the bill payment.
Make a motion that we pay the bills. I'll second it.
All right. Motion and a second to pay the bills. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're gonna pay our bills this month. All right, next we have our municipal operations report from Mayor Puckett.
So, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for all of their hard work, and the community coming together. I know, it's been mentioned during the work sessions and for the previous 2 weeks, about how everybody's coming together, after the storms clean up. But really want to show appreciation to our fire department, police department, streets department, all been working hard that day. Jason and his team in the streets have been still working to remove debris. He's estimating about 500 tons of debris that will be cleaned up when it's all said and done, of trees and everything. So I know that people are getting anxious because the debris's been sitting at their roadway for about a week and a half now. We're getting to it as quick as we can. We've got a couple different contracting firms as well that are here in town helping us pick up that debris. So with our trucks and then 2 other contracting companies, we're going as fast as we can. Bill Miller with the Parks and Rec Department was getting all the volunteers, so for when right after this storm hit. So I appreciate all of their hard work as leaders of departments, but also leading their teams and then the community coming together. You'll notice a lot of the construction at the intersection of 261-17. So the Chick-fil-A traffic, now that they're open, it's not that bad. It's a lot of the traffic is road construction. And so that should be wrapping up here in the next 2 weeks. So hopefully we'll see this week the asphalt going down on those new lanes going in. So there's some other paving projects that are finishing up right now as well. So a lot of things are getting fixed here in Helena, so it's nice.
All right, moving right along, the next thing that we have on our agenda is our immediate consideration. Palmer, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so I'm asking the council to make an immediate consideration to put on the agenda for an approval of up to $11,000 for a new lawnmower for our streets department. They had one that went out on Friday, so they kind of need that to actually cut the grass of our city. So we'd love to have that as immediate consideration so that we can get that and up and running this week.
I'll entertain a motion to allow immediate consideration for this request from the mayor.
Make a motion that we allow immediate consideration for this request.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? question. All right, we have on the, for the immediate consideration to purchase the lawnmower of up to $11,000, from the 4-cent, 7-cent fund.
From the 4-cent, 7-cent fund is where that funding would come from, yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for us to purchase this lawnmower.
I'll make a motion, that we purchase the lawnmower. I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Mayor, you get to buy a new lawnmower.
Order tomorrow.
Alright, next thing we have is the proclamation for National Child Abuse, and I think that needs to be you again, Brian. And then next. See, I don't have that on mine either, I'm sorry. Alright, we have the proclamation for autism awareness. Is that you? That's you. Not very much.
Do you want me to read the proclamation, is that, okay, so we can proceed, it's just the proclamation is there, and then I'll talk about it in the comments.
So we have the proclamation for, you don't have to make a motion.
That's fine,
I'm sorry, I didn't have that on my sheet.
that's fine, I'll make a motion that we proclaim, April as Autism Awareness Month.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second to proclaim April as Autism Awareness Month. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. That's that resolution. All right, we'll make sure I don't do that. Now is, the child abuse prevention, right?
Yes.
All right, and that's you.
Yeah, so, we work a lot with Shelby County Children's Advocacy Center, or Owen's House, so, we want to declare that, or have a proclamation in place, that this month, being the month of April, is a child abuse and neglect awareness month. We always want to make sure that, we're aware of what's going on, but also the resources that are available throughout, the city of Helena and Shelby County with Owen's House.
Motion on this. All right. So we have, do I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion that we proclaim April as National Child Abuse and Neglect Prevention Month.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We've had a motion and a second to proclaim April 2021 as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, got that. All right, next we have a resolution for Rebecca Hooper Day, and Hal, I think you're gonna talk about that.
Yes, Helena's a far away from the bright lights of Broadway, but Rebecca was a giant there. And she's a perfect example of a hometown girl and made it big. And we would like to recognize her on her birthday, April the 17th. Also want to bring up that her, because of COVID, her funeral had been delayed until this month, end of this month. But Rebecca Luker grew up in Helena. She was involved in community activities. She sang in her church choir. She was a member of the local marching band, and she was also first runner-up for the Alabama Junior Miss. She performed in Broadway and was nominated for the Tony Award for her roles in Showboat, Music Man, and Mary Poppins. She has released 4 solo albums, 21 cast albums, and 31 feature recordings. She also appeared in 10 TV shows and 4 featured films. And during her last days, she used her time to raise money for treatment of ALS to help others. So therefore, be it resolved by the mayor of the city of Helena that we recognize Rebecca Jones Luker special contribution to Helena and the world, and declare that April the 17th be Rebecca Luker Day in Helena, Alabama.
All right, I'll entertain a motion that we proclaim the April 17th as Rebecca Hooper Day in Helena.
I'll make a motion that we proclaim, April 17th.
I'll second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Just keep it.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we have the Greenway project. And Hal, I'm going back over to you again.
Helena has an incredible project that's coming up. Many of y'all have walked on the Hillsborough Parkway. Be aware that we have something even bigger coming. We have a trail system that would be one of the largest trail systems that's being developed in central Alabama in decades. It will connect the Helena Amphitheater, connect the sports complex. The goal is to try to connect all the schools with sidewalks or a trail system. One of the steps of this major Helena Greenway is to pay for a corridor setting update. We've been setting aside our use tax for years, and you know what's really cool about this is the man who thought of all of this is actually sitting in the audience and didn't even let me know he was here. Tom, stand up for everybody to see for a second. This project is the brainchild of Tom Lefebvre. Tom Lefebvre was the man who got the federal government to turn over the funds to make this happen. And hopefully we'll bring this home to him in a couple of years or maybe even sooner. So what I'm asking the council to do is to use the funds set aside, the use tax, to make a payment. We could afford to lose federal matching. Our contribution is much smaller, to continue on with this trail project.
So formally, do we have a motion for the use of the use tax funds for the Greenway project?
I'll make a motion to approve using use tax funds for the Greenway project payment.
Second? Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and we will use the use tax funds for the Greenway project. I'm very excited about it, for us to do that. Next, we have the Riverwoods modification for the master plan to propose commercial, that's proposed commercial to go to residential. And I know we've got a lot of people that wanna speak about that, but first person will ask is for, Grant, if you would like to address the audience.
Thanks everyone for coming. We have a proposed use for existing property in Riverwoods. This property has been sitting for at least 12 years, maybe longer, and it is kind of a difficult one to get completed. This has been part of the commercial district of Riverwoods, and we are proposing continuing with the mixed-use version of that PUD. You have the current businesses here that are already built. You have the Marathon gas station, and then we are leaving a commercial spot here. We have a potential medical office use here, and then filling the rest of this property with a disconnected townhome type approach. This is a condominium use of the land, so the land itself will be owned by the condominium association that this will create. And there will be 62 individual units that have shared driveways here. One of the largest things that we saw in Helena period is the price point of homes and how difficult it is getting to get anything under 300. That's all over the southeast, but it's also here in Riverwoods. So these will provide a base price of $225, probably average in the $275, $250 range. Unlike townhomes, these are not connected, so they're safer. They don't have the noise problems. Each unit has its own usable yard. Each has a 2-car garage, and we've also provided an additional 1 parking space per unit for this development. You know, it's really interesting that the Greenway is part of the agenda tonight. Yeah, there's a trail system all through Riverwoods, and one of the things I've always been excited about trying to finish these 3 developments in the front. We have Sector 10 on this side that we provided sidewalks on both sides throughout. That can easily connect to, if there were an easement created, the church, and actually connect over to Hillsborough Trail that way. But then with the sidewalks that we're providing here, by adding a sidewalk that goes down to what is Riverwood Sector 4, that's the only stretch that there is no sidewalk. That would connect you right there to the trailway system that winds through the middle of Riverwoods and has already been extended to the edge of Riverwoods development. So once that continues with this backing, it can actually, you could walk from here to Buck Creek. And then by going this way and connecting to Hillsborough, you could walk to any of the schools that are there. So that, for me, would be a fun thing to see happen, and
We'd love to connect the neighborhoods, yes.
we're willing to, do our part to complete that as well. But, you know, I've got all of the old history and documents from, I think it was LRK Architects that designed most of that trail system way back and had input on Riverwoods. Everything is in place. Most of all the easements, most of all of the, property needed is there, and, we would love to help bring that to a close with you guys. Any questions on the development itself?
Thank you, Grant. Okay. All right, I know a lot of you would like to speak to us. I see your hand up, but I'll give you a chance to speak for everyone. If you would like to address the council, we're gonna ask you to step forward and to state your name and your address. And we would like you to limit your comments to 2 minutes, if at all possible. So I'm doing first.
Yeah, Tom Phil. How big are these townhomes? Are they all the same size?
The footprint of these is, they're all 30 by 35,
No, how many, what is it, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, what?
3 bed, 2 bath.
All of them?
Average 1,600, 1,800. There are some that are as large as 2,200, but I don't think we'll be using that.
If y'all approve this, I would require them to tie in to the trail. Don't give it as an option. Well, if you get there, you got to. You got to put in the sidewalk and you got to tie into the trail that's coming up.
That's a yes. We're, as far as inside of Riverwoods, I can't control outside.
Say his name, Jonathan. I should have had you state your name and address, Tom, for the record.
Do what?
I'll character witness, that's Tom Lefebvre.
That's my fault. Okay.
Oh, Kendrick Drive.
I guess because I think everybody knows you. Okay, do we have anyone else that would like to address? Okay, would you step forward, please?
Is here fine, or do I need to come forward?
Can y'all hear him okay?
If you could speak
Yeah, talk
up
loud.
just a little bit, I think that'd be just fine.
Sure. Madam President, members of the council, Mayor Puckett. I'm not opposed, my name is Jeff McDaniels, I live at 190 River Valley Road. I guess this June, my wife and I, family, have lived in Riverwoods, which will be 16 years. I'm not necessarily opposed to the project. I think it's good. I probably used to worry the daylights out of George Pickle to make sure that Kendall cut the grass 12 inches off the right of way. However, for those, and I'm sure this is a problem for Okahapa, I'm living in Okahapa, traffic is a mess. And if we haven't had a serious injury, there's a strong possibility there's going to be a fatality. I think the police department has done an exceptional job of being, I think, liberal in their enforcement of what happens at the intersection of 52 and Riverwoods. But without some lane expansion or some form of traffic monitoring, it's going to be tough, especially during rush hours. And for me, for rush hours at the beginning of the school day. So that's a statement. I know that we're slated to receive maybe $3.6 million in the ARP funding. If we're going to receive that funding, I don't know if the city has looked at its plans towards how that money is going to be utilized. However, if you haven't, we would like consideration. I don't necessarily go out to speak for Riverwoods, other than my family. Some type of traffic study, if you haven't already done it, to see how you can improve that area, even if that means working with the school district to adjust the times, hiring more police, which I think some of that funding can be used to offset your expenses for personnel. But as you add these properties, it is also causing an issue, I believe, for fire and police. They have requirements as it relates to the number of firefighters and police officers that they must have. It puts us at risk as citizens when you don't meet that capacity as you add residents.
Thank you. Mr. McDaniel, thank you.
that's something that we have a problem with in Helena is traffic. So we are at times at the mercy of AlDOT with 261, and then all of our other roads in essence that aren't in neighborhoods are Shelby County roads. But we are actively working with Shelby County Department of Transportation, met with them, Friday was the last time that I met with them. But you noticed there was traffic counter strips on the road throughout the town last week. We are actively working to see where the best place is going to be to modify lighting, I guess you could say, right? For that area and stretch of 52. It has to come at some point to break up that traffic flow. For years, I tried to come out and play chicken with Riverwoods and 52, so I know that, the struggle that y'all have every single day, so that is something that we are looking at. And as far as the 3.6, we're gonna follow the government's guidelines on what we can and can't spend that money on, especially infrastructure wise. They limit us to water, sewer, and broadband, but yes, we are gonna be creative mistakes.
3.3, right? Next person. Anybody else like to speak to this?
Hey, Brooke Dodson, I live at 533 Philstone Drive, and, I don't live in Riverwoods or actually near Riverwoods, but as a citizen, have some questions. I'm asked the developers a couple questions for clarification.
All right, we need to start with the developer.
Okay. If I recall, the planning and zoning meetings, I thought this was for 56 homes, 62 or 56?
I think it may be 56.
56,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry.
Did your company develop, Oxbow, the homes on Oxbow and down at the other end of Riverwoods Court? Okay, what are the dimensions of those lots?
Those lots are 70 feet wide by, I think, 135 to 150 feet.
Okay, and, what are the dimensions of these, proposing, I know you said homes are 35 by 30, what are the dimensions of the lots?
Well, these do not have individual lots. These will be as a condominium, a land condominium.
Okay,
So the land itself is owned by the condominium association that we will create for this. The units themselves will be fee simple owned
okay,
for the whole entire structure, from the bottom of the footing throughout.
okay, and what's the, approximate distance between structures?
I think we're at minimum 12 feet apart.
Okay, so basically 35, 6 feet on each side, so about 47 feet would be, if it were a resident, a lot unit, it'd be about 47 foot lot lines, I guess. Okay. My concerns, as a resident in this community, we've lived here for since 1999.
Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry, your 2 minutes are up, so I need to go on if you don't mind. Because we may have a lot of people that would like to talk. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council or address this issue? We got a house full. No one? Okay. Okay. Amanda? The time comes along. Okay. All right. I'll entertain a motion that we consider the proposed commercial residential planning and zoning of Riverwoods to be changed to, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The commercial to be changed to residential planning and zoning of the Riverwoods, the modification of the Riverwoods master plan. So in other words, they're asking for a zoning. Zoning modification.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Riverwoods modification from the master plan from, proposed commercial to residential.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We've had a motion and a second. And I am gonna ask Amanda to call for a roll call vote.
Okay. Halsey? No. LaBelle?
No.
Bankley?
Yes.
Joseph? Yes. Woodman?
No.
So, at the moment, it does not pass. Majority of the votes said no. Right, on to our first reading for the adoption of international code and local fees.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger, so you can see that. International code. So, this ordinance is currently in place, with the city of Helena. This would be replacing that ordinance with this new ordinance, and I'm going to the bottom to see exactly what it is. Ordinance 852-18. And I think all of you, except for Councilman Van Cleve, were a part of the council when that ordinance was put into place, which modified the building permit fees associated with residential building. What this would do is leaving those residential fees where they're at today, but we did the analysis on the commercial fees. So this would be increasing the commercial development fees. So we would be more in line with where we need to be at as far as neighboring cities would still be lower than everybody else. But then we would also not be giving away that farm like we're doing right now.
This was our first reading of this ordinance 881-2021. So we'll have a second reading at our next meeting, which will be April the 26th. We also have another first reading for the amendment to the entertainment district ordinance 877-2020. Laura, you gonna do that one?
Yes, so it's kind of long, so I'm not gonna read it, but it was posted, I believe, in the meeting packet and on the city's website. But pretty much, the amendment to this entertainment district ordinance adds a section with definitions and cleans up some of the language to make the ordinance, more easily enforceable and also more clear, for residents to understand what we're trying to accomplish there. This is the first reading, so the second reading and the vote will take place, as she said, at our next council meeting on the 26th.
Thank you. All right. Moving right along, next we have a proposal for the proximity park. Chris, we're gonna talk about that a little bit.
This is a proposal for council consideration tonight for the establishment of a proximity park at the caboose area, the grassy area in front of the caboose and the pergola. The proposal is to add a historic clock there that will stand as a monument to the city, as well as park benches and a bike rack. Proposal is for the spend of up to $40,000.
Do we have a motion on the proximity park proposal?
I make a motion to approve the proximity park proposal for up to $40,000.
I'll second.
All right, we've had a motion and a second to approve the proximity park proposal for up to $40,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you, that's your clock.
So we're getting a clock tower?
We're gonna
Yes,
We're glad to see you excited.
About damn time.
Will we be able to see it as we zoom by? And be able to tell the time?
Did you zoom?
No, it is quite large, actually.
That's right, that's right.
The clock itself is 15 foot tall, and it is set on a dais about 3 foot tall.
Jack just noted that it's analog, so the kids can't read it.
You'll teach a generation.
We know what time it is, but they don't.
All right, moving right along, the next thing we have is the approval of denial of the Helena Historic Preservation Committee bylaws. And Hal, do you want to say anything about that?
No, Linda's here. Linda, actually, got with the group, wrote this. This is dealing with making sure that all the, meetings and boards have bylaws or following a uniform standard. Linda, do you want to add anything about it?
Nope, it's just a needed document.
All right.
All right, do we have a motion on the proposed, Historic Preservation Committee bylaws?
Make a motion that we approve the Helena Historical Preservation Committee bylaws.
I'll second.
We've had a motion and a second to approve approve these bylaws. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are approving those bylaws. Next thing we have, council comments. I can do that. Al, you wanna start?
Sure. Thank you, everybody. This Helena Greenway is an incredible opportunity. I know Laura worked on the Blueway project, and so having an expanded trail system in Helena is really going to bring a lot of people, and it's going to be a beautiful addition to already unique town. Also, thank you for the Helena Police. They did this autism badge. Brad, I don't know if you are going to do a second printing or.
We do, got them in today.
Yeah, these are awesome if y'all want to. It's a good cause, and it's a great way to celebrate the new autism month.
All right, I've got a brief library report, on Thursday, April the 22nd, they will have a free color your own poster for Earth Day. And, the library would like to thank Brian Puckett and the Parks Rec Director, Bill Miller, for taking the time to assemble the new computer desks that are at the library. The new furniture is very neat and up to date and offers much better social distancing for the future. And also, when you go by the library, you can probably notice painting and landscaping upgrades, for which we are very grateful. In addition, I've got a brief update from the Hot Board. As many of you know, their first big event, Old Town Life, was last weekend. It was kind of the debut of the entertainment district. I thought it went well. We estimated the total attendance at around 500. We had a steady crowd of about 100 to 150 throughout the day. The event was sponsored by Helena's Hot Board and the Old Town Businesses. We were able to raise over $1,300 for tornado relief and have gotten a very good response from Old Town local business owners. So we are very excited about that and looking forward to more events like that in the future. And I would like to thank all the Hot Board, the Beautification Board, Parks and Rec, Streets Department, everything, because this event was held the weekend after the tornado came through and hit the amphitheater park so badly. And there's no way that we would have been able to pull this off without the help of so many people. And we just really, really appreciate it. And I'd like to just take a moment and say thank you. Okay.
Yes, I just want to echo those comments of thanks to everyone who showed up in the days following the tornado down at the amphitheater on Cunningham and Wallace Street. We had over 300 people show up for just a cleanup event on 24 hours notice. The town just turned out. And if you are a part of that volunteer group, thank you so much. I know that the citizens of this town thank you, and I personally thank you. And Ken Edwards, who is the Beautification Board Chairman, is with us tonight, and she helped organize that event, as well as all my fellow council members who turned out to help with that effort. And I see some of the folks in the back there today that were able to come out and help with that. And I'm very, very appreciative of everyone's efforts. And it just goes to show the world that when people say we're losing our small town charm, I disagree. Thank you all for everything that you do. Beautification Board Planting Day, we're going to plant those iconic flower baskets on the 24th of this month from 8 to 12 down at the Caboose. If you've never been to this event, I want to invite you to come out. You'll not only help the city plant these baskets, but you'll get a little bit of education on how to do it. So we'll be glad to have you. That's all.
That's right. We have not, we're leave, sorry. All my L's.
It is. I would love to add to, the Old Town Live also. That was a fantastic event. You guys did a great job. I don't know who was in the audience that helped with that, but it was fun. We enjoyed attending that, but also there was sponsorship from the HBA as well. And I think that, it was nice to see that happening. And, so I just want to thank them as well. I honestly saying, like, this town is incredible. I love it here. The people are amazing. They really do just dive in and help when there's a need. And I do think that's one of the things that makes Helena so amazing and really feel like home to all of us. I would also love to thank everyone that helped with the cleanup. It was really
intense an emotional day, and it really was. But it was fantastic to see so many people give up their Saturday to come and take care of the city and citizens that were affected by that. So, that tornado. So that's nice. And then I mentioned that I would just briefly chat about Autism Awareness Month in my comments. Most probably don't know, but my husband and I actually have a child who has Asperger's, which falls underneath the ASD diagnosis umbrella. And it is something that I'm very passionate about, seeing people understand. I applaud the efforts of so many people who have worked very hard to help people understand children and young adults that struggle with these issues. This can be very trying for parents as they are trying to help their children navigate circumstances that you and I take for granted, and we walk through without any problem whatsoever, and every piece of their life is a challenge. Not all of them have the same, severity on the spectrum. Some have less complications to deal with, but as a whole, as a parent, it is a challenging thing, and I really have been as active as I can in trying to create and bring awareness to families and children that do deal with those issues on a daily basis. I applaud Chief Flynn for doing this with how I already mentioned at the patch, and raising money to go to a nonprofit benefiting those families. And then I know that he and I know he was doing this prior to, but trying to see about what we can do also to work with our police officers to help give them training to understand how to work with children and adults that they may encounter that struggle with those issues as well. But just to kind of give you a number of how many people are affected by this, it's 1 in 54. So 1 in 54 people have ASD. There's 5 diagnoses that fall underneath that umbrella. And boys are actually 4 times more likely to be diagnosed than ladies are. And it is something that crosses all boundaries. Racial, socioeconomic, it impacts everyone. So I just encourage you to educate yourselves when you have the time to learn. They are incredible individuals that have unique personalities that are really quite a joy to be around. But it does take some navigating to learn how to do that sometimes, and I just encourage you to do that. Okay, sorry I talked so much. Nice to see a packed house tonight, so it's good to see your faces. And yeah, that's it.
Well, all I can tell you is I hope that all of you see how much we appreciate all the people of Helena. I promise I won't say any of the things that they've just said, because they covered it all, except for one thing. I want to thank my team council, because they stuffed over 1,600 eggs for the Easter egg hunt, and they turned out to hide those eggs, and we had an Easter bunny, and made it very successful, and we had to move to a different location, and I was very proud of them that they gave up their Saturday to come out and help us with the Easter egg hunt, so I applaud them very much. All right, if there's no other questions, our next meeting will be April the 26th, and you're all welcome to come back. This meeting is adjourned.